Hey everybody, welcome again to another travel video here on our channel. On today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can get your passport done the same day. So if you pay attention to my steps, I think you can be able to get an appointment and being able to get your passport the same day. Welcome. If you're new to our channel and you found us, we are The Ponds Adventure, and here on our channel, we provide you with travel tips such as this so that you can be able to travel and maximize your trip. So if you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. So as we can tell with the news and everything else, passport processing right now is taking longer. Some for expedited is going about 6 to 7 weeks, and for regular processing it's taking even 3, 4, 5 months. So the processing line is really long, right? Because everybody's trying to travel and people are paying attention to their passport and noticing either A, they do not have a passport, or they do not, or their passport is expiring. So they're trying to rush to renew passport or get a brand new passport. So because of that, the lines are huge. And also when COVID happened, the US government reduced the amount of workers that were working in the passport processing center. And now that the demand is high, they're trying to get more people in there to help expedite this process. Until then, when they can fill out those spots and they can fill out that void, they are struggling to get the passports completed on time. But fear not, I have a solution for you, and I want to be able to show you how you can be able to actually get your passport done the same day. Okay, so here's some things, some requirements that you must know first. The first thing is it has to be a true emergency. You have to be traveling in the next 2 weeks. If you are not traveling in the next 2 weeks, I don't know if this is really beneficial for you to go and clog up the lines, but if you really have an emergency and you must travel in the next 2 weeks, you then can do this. You can follow my methods and it will work, and you'll be able to get your passport done when you need it and being able to travel. The second thing is you have to be flexible. If you're not flexible, based on what I'm showing you here, then you're not going to be able to get your passport. The third thing is really, this works best for people who are within few hours of a processing center. If you're not near a processing center, it could be difficult for you. So therefore, you have to go back to the previous point, which is to be flexible. Because you may need to add additional costs for travel to go into a processing center, town or city, for you to be able to get your passport processed. The first thing you're gonna need to do is go into this website here. Once you go to that website, you're going to then fill out the application, depending on whether you are renewing your passport or you are getting a brand new passport. So you're going to need to fill out the application already and make sure you put your travel date there on the application. The second thing you're going to need to do after you completed your application, you're going to need to have a reservation of your flight. Now, if you are not sure that you're going to be traveling and you do not want to lose money, there's some websites that are going to allow you to book your flight and then being able to cancel it as long as it is within the 24-hour window. There are also other websites, or like Expedia, where you can actually call them and explain your situation, and they'll be able to give you a reservation with a number that is going to expire within 24 hours. So that way you can be able to do this to get your passport processed. They also do this for people who want to get a visa and they're not sure if they're going to be able to actually get that visa. So you just have to check with those websites and make sure they are actually going to allow you to do that. So the best thing for you to do is for you to check with the website, whether it's American Airlines or other websites that are going to allow you to actually do a hold reservation for 24 hours. So I know for sure American Airlines does it today, where you can actually go through the entire process and enter all the information as if you are traveling, and then at the end of your reservation you can put it on hold for 24 hours. Now, other websites such as United or Delta are going to charge you a hold fee as low as $7. So I much rather pay $7 and have a record locator and then being able to cancel it within 24 hours and then not lose the money of the entire flight. So the key is for you to have this reservation, because you're going to need it for the next point that I'm going to make for you. Step number 3 is you're going to call this number here, or here, whatever I put it in there. You're going to call that number and you're going to tell them that you have a trip coming up in the next 2 weeks. You want to make sure your trip is within the 2 weeks period. because if it's 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they're not going to be able to make a reservation for you. So your trip has to be within the 2-week mark. And once you call the number, you want to make sure you're calling as early as possible. You want to be one of the first people to call. Now, they may or may not have an appointment available within the time frame that you're traveling, but you can always keep calling until you almost time for your trip. So just make sure you're called, and then remember my point where I say you have to be flexible. So if you're flexible, you're most likely going to get an appointment. So for example, if you live in Atlanta and they don't have an appointment in Atlanta, but they have it in Miami, or they have it in Washington, D.C., or New York, or Buffalo, you can actually say, yeah, that's fine. I can book that, get that reservation number for you, and then you can be able to travel or fly to that destination for you to be able to get your passport. If you really need to travel and it's really an emergency, you may want to do this, right? So I will recommend that you actually be flexible from that realm. For example, for me, when I did my same-day passport, and I have that video linked here, you can actually check that video that I did, and that video I think got up to 30,000 views or even more on how I was able to actually get my passport the same day. So that process is proven. So it's a proven method that I've used. And I think if you follow this method, you're actually going to be able to do the same thing. So you're going to need to call the number, call as early as possible. They'll ask you for your record locator number, and they'll ask you for your travel dates. You want to make sure your travel dates is within those 2 weeks. And if it's within those 2 weeks, they're going to then see if there's appointments available to the closest processing center first around you. Now, if I'm really flexible and I want to see if they have appointments, let's say in Texas, or if they have appointments in California or so forth, if I truly want to travel, then I'm going to tell them to find me any appointment that's available anywhere so that I can be able to get my passport. Sometimes you can get lucky if you, for example, live in Philadelphia, or if you live in DC, and they can say, yeah, there's appointments actually available at your processing center. Bingo, you can get that appointment, and from that point on, you can just drive to your appointment center and being able to get your passport processed the same day. Now, if it's not available, as I said, you can always try to keep calling them, or the worst thing will be for you to change your travel dates and then try it again. But this is actually the fastest method for you to be able to get your passport the same day. Now, once you have your appointment, the next step will be for you to actually go to your appointment. So you're going to make sure your application is completed correctly. The next thing, you're going to make sure you have your picture taken for you to bring with you with your application. And then you have to bring in your confirmation number of your flight. So you have to have a printout of itinerary. Don't worry, if you already made that reservation and you cancel it, it's okay. You can just bring that paper as well. They're going to accept that because they're also in their head, they know that you don't want to go spend a lot of money, so they're not going to make you buy a ticket just so that they can deny your process. So once you have those documentation, the last thing I want you to make sure you bring with you is your old passport. If you're renewing it, you're going to bring your old passport. If you are getting a brand new passport, then you don't need to bring that, but they will need to bring a birth certificate if you are American born, and a certificate of naturalization if you are naturalized. So if you're naturalized, you have to bring your naturalization certificate. If you are American born, you're going to need to bring your birth certificate with you to the appointment. And then whatever the fee that it is, they'll charge you extra fee for expediting. I think it's $60 extra. I'll put the correct fee over here. And all this information I'm providing to you can change at any time. And when you go to the appointment, they're going to ask for this documentation. Once you present this documentation, you actually are going to be able to get your passport. And then they have the ability to give you a passport the same day, or they'll tell you to come back another day for you to actually get your passport. But these are really simple steps on how you can actually get your passport done the same day. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I wanted to give you the quick basic steps on how you can get your passport done the same day, given with all this mayhem going around and not having enough time for them to process passport, with a lot of delays and just not having enough staff. But I hope this method works for you. And if the method worked for you based on my video, I want you to actually comment on my video, say it worked, or you can share this video with other people if my method actually did help you getting your passport done the same day. Don't be shy and share our video, give us a thumbs up or whatever you need to do. And if you're not a subscriber to our channel, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you enjoyed this video, smack the like button. Okay, just do it. Just do it. All right. Help us get to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.